Good afternoon and welcome to the July 18th, 2022 Board of Public Works and Safety. It's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Jim Barrett.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Reynolds.
Thank you. God, we come before you today, Lord, and we're thankful for this opportunity. Thank you for the honor of being a part of the opening part of this meeting. And thank you for our city leaders and all of our city staff and employees, volunteers, those that labor to make our city great. And we just pray, God, that you would just guide this meeting. I pray that you would give wisdom. I pray that the leaders have your mind, heart. I pray that every word would be seasoned with salt. And Lord, I pray, God, that at the end of this meeting, they can look back and say it was productive. We pray that you be honored, most important, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
I would like to welcome everyone. Remind you to please turn your cell phone ringers off. We will begin with roll call.
Brian Dobb.
Present.
Becky Gibson.
Here.
Diana Jeff Phillips.
Present.
Jim Barrett.
Everyone has the minutes from the July 5th, 2022 meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those?
motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Move on down to new business. Miss Baker with Faith Christian School. Is she here? Don't see anybody out there. We'll move on. I have Miss Abernathy with Fona Bishop Ministry.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
We are asking permission from Vonda Bishop Ministries to have a boot drive on July 30th from 10 to 2 to help raise funds to buy Children of Connersville Christmas.
And you're asking for November 11th also?
That
Or
I'm not aware.
November
It's
12th. It has here 7:30 and 11:12, so you're just asking for,
Just for July 30th that I
Okay.
know of. for now.
Are you using the 3 locations or just the 2?
Great.
3. Make a motion to approve her request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you.
I have there for item C, permission for BSM to perform work in the right-of-way at 2030 Grand Avenue. Brad,
I checked that out and it looks straightforward and no problem.
any other questions for Brad?
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item D and E, approval agreement with Jeff Wesling and Dave Butch for bond counsel on the sewage works and stormwater project and for the waterworks project. Any questions for Dave's here and Brad's here? I don't know if Jeff's here or not.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request from the 2 attorneys.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item F, Kathy Thomas requesting permission for the Fayette County Free Fair Parade.
Hello again. Aye.
Aye.
Yes, I'm just asking permission for the route that will begin at Western and 21st Street. Lineup will start there. Then we'll travel down 21st to Grand, and then Grand down to up to 27th Street. And then once we get to 27th, we'll travel there to Park Road, cross Park Road to go to the fairgrounds.
Any questions?
Make a motion to approve Kathy's request.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Item G, approval for resolution 2022-16 transfer payable. John, that would be you, sir.
Hello, I forget what it is I needed to transfer.
You are transferring from,
Might be something that wasn't where I did.
Oh, got it. This was to cover the conference costs that I went to. So I was just transferring small amounts from electricity, water, and other contractuals to cover that into travel.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Move on down to item 4, department matters. Mr. Coulter.
Howdy. I've got a couple of trash approvals, one at 635 Eastern Avenue, the other at 230 West Ninth Street. Nothing too controversial about those.
Make a motion to approve those.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor signify.
Question real quick, sorry.
Yes.
You're fine.
It says 19th on the
Instead of,
9th.
yeah, it is 19. Sorry about that.
Okay,
Good.
sorry.
We have a- All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
You're not doing
You
the
doing the
driveway
permit, Brad?
permit? You're not doing the permit?
Is that next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a permission for driveway permit at 1317 West
Get that one
7th
ready
Street.
there, Justin? There you go. So, you want to talk about it? You want to get up and talk about it, or you want me to talk about it? This one's pretty straightforward. I drew a little picture where he's gonna want to put a garage back there behind the house and put a driveway off of Jackson, right? Or Matthew. And not too controversial.
Well, as long as the guide wire, I mean, where you have it drawn, looks like he's gonna be going right
I
next to
think
the
it's a little
guide.
distorted.
It is? Okay.
I think the way I'm taking, the way the picture.
On down a little bit?
I got it off Google, so it's a little.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked with an asphalt guy about entrance and everything. That's a pretty wide street right there. We're talking about possibly like a 12-foot driveway to come off the road. So the asphalt, it's long anyway, and I'll probably be 3 to 5 feet in that guy corner.
Okay.
I didn't know where an anchor would go in, whether that's an issue. I want to say,
Yeah.
but that's on my driver's side of my back. I can put it right on the money, so.
Maybe word for the wise, they're on that stamp. It will be stamped with the number of pole that is, and you could call them and just ask them and make sure that everything's good with that. But on the other,
Number
on
on
the
the
cities,
pole and-
yeah, there's a number on the pole, and you'll see like nail holes. That'll be the number and sequence of what pole number that is. You can call that number on that plate. Just be, like I said, just be on the safe side before you spend a bunch of money, just
Will
make
that
sure.
Be through Duke, or is that a?
I'm not sure. I don't know whose pole that would be.
I
But
had
that,
Duke out there earlier about getting service to the house and the garage.
Yeah.
And so I assume it's Duke, so
more than likely, I would think it is Duke.
I'll check with him.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No. Other than that, I'll make a motion to approve his request.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed,
Thank
same
you.
sign. Motion carried.
you.
Thank you, sir.
This is not a done deal yet, because I'm in the process of purchasing it. But until I get all the details, I
Right.
can't sign papers and find out, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Thank you,
At
sir.
least you're approved now, so.
thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Chief Jones.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to request the board's permission to start another hiring process. We had one last year to create a pool of applicants that we can pick from when someone leaves, retires. We already went through the top 3 of those, and we would like to expand our pool. The members of the safety committee discussed it. And we're actually hoping with the training that we're offering this fall, we got a hazmat class that starts tonight, and it's full. And then Ivy Tech's offering a Fire 1 and 2 course this fall, which should probably be full also. So we're hoping by offering, local training, that's going to expand our pool. So that being said, if the board give me permission to start another process, we'll expand that pool a little bit for the next couple of years.
Move to approve Scott's request.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, sir.
Well, I also have some new news. I gave copies to everybody. I found out this morning, actually got an email yesterday, I saw it this morning, that I was awarded a $31,000 grant by Indiana Department of Homeland Security for a customized training container. The grant actually opened up on, I believe, May the 2nd. It was after a Board of Works meeting that I went back and got the email, and it was only open for like a couple weeks. So, and there's no match requirement. And I was actually scheduled to be off. That's when Nate came to do my next report, but I talked to the mayor about it. He said, go ahead and apply for it. My assistant chief, Nate Stevens, went to the FDIC show up in Indianapolis and brought that information back to me. And that piece of equipment just gives us so many opportunities to train in so many different ways that we haven't been able to do before. A lot of times we'll go out and someone's getting ready to tear a house down, you know, might let us do some training in the house, but there's only so much we can do. We do like search and rescue. We can't really get up and cut holes in the roof because, you know, they don't want the house filling up with water. I do have a video I sent to the mayor. It's about 8 minutes. That's going to give you a really good idea of what this equipment can do, and we're just really excited about it. So.
Hi, I'm Taylor Rowan. Today, I want to show you the latest innovation in fire training props, brought to you by Taylor. Over the past few years, we've worked with multiple different fire departments, and we've realized that there's a real need for more on-site training at each fire department. Now, our goal was to make it so that any fire department could have the ability to have on-site training. In order for every station to have access to on-site training, there were 3 key components that we had to keep in mind. The first one being size. Our prop is 8 foot wide by 16 foot long, making it fit into the confines of any parking spot. Number 2, mobility. We wanted our prop to be able to be moved around site or pulled into a truck bay, hence our clip and go wheel system. Number 3, functionality. We didn't want training to become redundant in such a small space, so we have multiple different functions on our prop and the ability to add on to at any time. Our tailored prop is made up of 2 key sections, side A and side B. Side A has a footprint of 4 foot wide by 8 foot long. Side B has a footprint of 8 foot wide by 8 foot long. Let's go over the key sections of side A. Our window prop has 3 key components. Number 1 is a piece of OSB or sheetrock can be slid across the face of the window. Number 2 is our rebar holder. Rebar can be pushed in at the bottom and the top and held into place, replicating the bars on a window. The lower angle iron on our window prop can be removed to make it easier to go in and out of our window. The third component of our window is our window sash. 2 sleeves are placed inside to hold a 2x2 block into place. Our hinged window insert is designed to the exact size and specifications of a Denver prop drill. We wanted the walls on our tailored prop to be collapsed down easily. In order to do this, we've installed 2x4 hangers on both ends of the prop. And as you can see, this hull has now been collapsed down to 28 inches. Our forcible entry door is designed with 2 doors on 1 jamb. One to practice and simulate outer swinging doors, and the second to practice and imitate inner swinging doors. Forcible entry door has been designed with removable pieces in both the jamb and the container door, making it easy to change out between breaches. There's 2 ways to use our forcible entry door. The first way is by sliding the rod into the jamb wood. When you force the door open, that blows out your jamb wood, which is very easily replaceable. The second use is by putting a piece of 2x2 inside the sleeves on the outside. To make it more difficult, you can have the second one in on the bottom. The same system can be replicated with our inner swinging door. The second story roof window is made to slip into the same receiver slot as the rail system. As you can tell here, this makes it very easy to do high ladder work from the upper deck. The receiver pockets on both the bottom and top have been designed for any props that we have currently or in the future. Now let's take a look at some of the key components of side B. You'll see here our adjustable pitch roof. We've designed this with as little moving components as possible to make this very easy to adjust the pitch of the roof. As you can see now, it's adjusted to a 6/12 pitch. This can be taken all the way down to a flat roof. Let's show you how that's done. The three main components of our roof prop are our roof receiver, which holds the 2x6 at the top, our roof slide, which allows the 2x6s to slide through as we adjust the pitch, and then our roof catches. Our roof catches are made to hold the receiver in place as you adjust it up and down. As you can tell, the roof receiver has been completely disassembled. The 2x6s have been removed, and the safety posts on the end have been taken out. This yellow piece is its own separate piece and can be replaced with an 8-foot wide section or the 12-foot wide as you see here now. Depending on the desired roof pitch training for that day, this can be adjusted up and down to change your pitch. We're now training on a flat roof. In order to do this, we put our extension arms in the end, pin them into place. We drop our receiver down to the bottom notch, and our 2x6s are then inserted in. Once that's done, you have 24-inch clearance underneath your flat roof prop. Another functionality of our roof prop is using just the receiver slide as holding your 2x6s. By doing this, you can adjust the pitch by shortening or extending your 2x6. A lot of times this is easier for guys who maybe aren't as experienced, or you're trying to do faster demonstrations to show guys the proper technique. Another component is our confined space training. As you can tell, there's a catch on the floor and on the ceiling, making it very easily to slide plywood in and out. These catches can be adjusted to be narrower or wider depending on the training needed that day. D-rings have been installed on the roof and on the floor to make it easy to install Romex, string, line, whatever is needed for confined space training. Receiver slots have been added on both sides A and B to make it very easy to install our clip and go wheel system. As you can tell, the jack clips in the middle, cranks this side up, you install wheel 1, wheel 2, and then lower it back down. Once this is done, you repeat the same process on the other side. The last and probably most important component of the tailored prop is that it is made out of standard height shipping containers. As you can tell, the corner castings will line up perfectly with any standard shipping container. We have it separated to show you that these can be added onto the end of any standard shipping container that you may currently already have on site. Now that we've gone over the main functions of the tailored prop, I can't reiterate enough. This is not meant to replace the necessary training needed at training towers. This is just to enhance the training at every fire station. And stay tuned as we continue to come up with more training devices and add-ons to the tailored prop. For more information, visit our website, taylord.com. That's spelled Taylord.com.
As you can see, a lot of our training requires us to tear things up. So it's hard to go and do training like that, at other places. So this is huge for us to get this, and obviously, this is just the first piece of the puzzle, because we can add this to bigger containers down the road. The nice thing about this is we can place it right behind the fire station, and it is mobile. We can move it, anywhere we want. The Lions Club did donate $5,000 several years ago specifically for us to start a training facility or training infrastructure. So those funds will be used to go towards this also. When I applied for the grant, I did factor that in because they do ask you, do you have any funds to go along with that? So I did apply those funds, and then, like I said, I got the email this morning that the IDHS is going to fund the rest of that for us. So,
Awesome.
yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
Yep, I would be. Good job on that, Scott.
Yeah, that's,
Any other questions on that? No?
No.
I know that was a lot of info, but,
It's interesting. It's interesting.
okay.
absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, move on to item C, Mr. Harden.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just have, for this part, I have received a resignation from a full-time employee, Tori Beiser, EMT, so wanting to resign her full-time position and stay on as part-time when she was part-time before she was full-time. And then also hire an EMT, Charlie Catt, to fill it's not necessarily that position, but it's another EMT position that I have. So looking for the board's approval for both of those items.
Motion to approve the chief's request.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Scott.
Chief Bolos.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So you got information in your packets. Had a resignation by Joe Becker a couple weeks ago. His last day was last Thursday, this past Thursday. So with that information, asking permission to hire Ricardo. He's standing here with me today to take his place. He'll be in the same process as our other new hires. He's already been through the perf exams last Wednesday. We're just waiting on those results. It'll take a couple weeks, another week or so, we should have his results. Be accepted in perf. Once he does that, then we're gonna put him through the 40-hour pre-basic also, get him on a training program so we can utilize him towards the end of the year. He won't be eligible to go to the academy till January, I'd say, the next time it's open. So I'm just asking permission to hire him in place of Patrolman Becker.
We got two things here. So we got approval for the resignation for Joe Becker, then approve the hiring for Ricardo. Is it Leon?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Make a motion, we approve the resignation of Joe Becker.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
I'll make a motion to approve of the hiring of Ricardo.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Congratulations, sir.
Welcome
You're
aboard.
welcome.
Congratulations.
You can wait, just have a seat or sit down outside.
And come here.
Okay, so my next item,
Hang on. Waiting on the old guy.
I'm old and slow now.
oh,
I was a
yeah,
The look on his face, he's like, what?
What's happened?
I just want to make you sweat a little bit.
where's he going to?
I think you scared the other guy more.
Okay, on the next item, I just wanted to inform the board that I put one of our officers through a law enforcement phlebotomy school last January. The opportunity came up through the state, so it's a state certified position. He went to Sergeant Brown is printing out additional SOP papers, why he's not quite here yet. So he'll know more about it. It gives us the ability to, on accident scenes where time is a factor, to actually draw blood on the side of the road. So pretty in-depth schooling, obviously, you know, to be able to do something like that, but it saves time and evidentiary information to be able to do that. So it's a pretty new program here in Indiana, and we're one of the police departments that has a phlebotomist. So
Who is that?
Clint.
Clint, come on up. And if you guys have any questions, he'll explain to you a little bit about what the position entails.
I need a few, there's copies for everybody. I didn't get them all stapled in there. We had a little printer malfunction.
Go ahead and explain a little bit about your schooling and
So essentially we had breath test operators. That's what we've operated mostly to do our certified chemical tests, because alcohol was always the culprit, and DUIs mostly. With the trending in drugs, obviously, there's no breath test to take for drug use, so blood draw is where law enforcement's starting to gear testing towards. I think I was the third class that went through, and as of right now, I think there's only 20 to 25 certified law enforcement phlebotomists in the state. So this is essentially, the big save for us is when we have accidents where we suspect the driver to be DUI and it's a serious bodily injury or a fatality crash. When they get flown to a trauma center, we've had to send officers off of shift to go try to obtain the blood sample, bring it back. So that's taken somebody out for 2 to 3 hours to do that testing. I can respond to that scene. I have all the equipment the state provided for us. I can go to the scene, take the sample there before the subject's flown out, and skip the whole process of having to find someone certified to take it there. That's another step in the evidentiary chain of command that we have to keep in track with. So this program just allows us to respond and be more proficient, as well as freeing officers up from sitting at the hospital. There's some days we have to take guys to the hospital and sit for an hour or two just waiting on a blood draw. So this will allow me to respond there, take the blood draw within 5 minutes, and just make the process a whole lot more streamlined.
Can I have one question?
Yes, sir.
What indicates, what brings you to this scene? You know what I mean? Because, if it's just an accident, or if it's, like you said, serious bodily injury or whatever, but what level brings you to the scene where you take?
When an officer finds suspicion of DUI or any kind of impairment on drugs, that's where they begin their OVWI investigation. Then they can call me. If I'm at home, they can call me out. If I'm on shift, they call me to the scene.
Okay.
But just like we would on any DUI investigation, we have to form the reasonable suspicion and probable cause for it.
Okay.
And this is done through consent. If they don't consent, we apply for a warrant just like we would on any other DUI arrest.
Okay.
I think this is a good thing.
So do I.
think that it's become a real problem in law enforcement with drug use, because, it's necessarily alcohol they can handle, but I've seen the state police have implemented a similar program a good while back.
Yes.
It's hard to check for drugs, and I think this is a great program.
Yeah, I would say within 5 years, all states will be operating with a program similar to this. So,
Well, I see
Make a
his way to
motion
be
to
ahead
go
of the
ahead and
game.
approve the request.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you, sir, and good job.
thank
Yeah,
you.
Good job.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I'll
sir.
get all you guys copies. I'll finish it now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
that's all I have for department
We
matters.
can move on down to reports. You're up first anyway.
Yeah. Nice.
He got better at scheduling.
Yeah, I did. I got in there first.
I like to make them walk back and forth.
You need your steps.
So everybody's got a copy of the monthly report. Not much has changed on it. The overtime is slightly higher, and it's something that is frustrating, and trying to control, trying to come up with some ideas. Met with the mayor a few times. I don't know what we can actually do, so, but we're trying. Gallons of fuel is about the same for last month. Any questions on those totals?
Gallons of fuel stayed the same from
Pretty-
January
pretty
to
close.
June, but the price of the fuel doubled. It does where we're at there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gallon, as far as the gallons go, it's about the same amount, so. I don't have it on the agenda. I was talking a little bit about it with my assistant chief. We normally have a hiring process yearly, and I think due to all the hirings we've been doing, that we probably need to have another hiring process also. Testing process, not hiring process. We just need a testing process to get a pool of applicants, see who we can draw in. So I don't have a specific time or date. I'd say the next month or two, we'll have another testing process. So I'm just asking permission to have another one.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I think it's a great idea.
So do I.
because The fire department, with theirs, that works fantastic, and I think it's a great idea.
You've already hired, what, 4 just recently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Correct.
I'll second his motion.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. You're antsy on that. I didn't get to finish my sentence. Sorry.
He has an appointment.
All right, as far as training hours go, we have 112 man-hour trainings last month. We put one of our new hires, Officer McClure, through his 40-hour pre-basic. So he's completed that, and now he's on the road training to hopefully get some good insight, good training for police work. He also leaves for the academy at the end of August. So it'll benefit him to go through the 40-hour pre-basic and on the road. Also last month, we held for our rapid response team some swiftwater training. One of the conservation officers from Versailles, their conservation officers trainer for swiftwater rescue, came up and provided us training. So we'll have that the first Wednesday of every month for the next 3 months. So the whole department should be trained with swiftwater rescue. So other than that, that's all I have to report.
How many are you short on the force now?
4.
4?
Correct. Anything else?
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
Director Pause.
Justin's bringing up a picture for us here. While he's doing that, for the month of June, we had 10 hours, 50 minutes of meeting production, 13 hours, 7 minutes of original production. And the picture that he's going to bring up, if he can find it, it may not be there. But we were at Community Youth Day last week. They invited us to come in. We set up inside the Miller Center gym, set up a complete production studio in there. It's kind of portable, but we're able to get kids, put them on a table, and put them in the sky and let them fly.
Oh.
So, and then we put them underwater, and then we put them on the moon. So, we had a lot of kids happy with that. Anyway, that's what we were trying to do, is bring that up. So it's not there. But I also I mentioned previously that we had won the award for live sports production, and we received that, and we got our award.
That's
Cool.
great.
So, this one actually, because it's in cooperation with CHS Media, we're actually going to give this one to the high school. They're going to put that out there. And then we had one made for us as well. So, you get a national award, you want to hang on to it. So,
Absolutely. It's a big deal.
Good job.
So that's all I had. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Chief Harden.
Everyone should have a copy of my monthly report. We had a total of 331 calls for service. Go right in there. What just always strikes me is that, that's statistically, if you look over the last 7 years, it's a little bit low. But then today, it's not even 2 o'clock, and I think they're on call 8 or 9 already. I mean, it's just, there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. So that just always gets me, that you can go from being statistically below average to trying to make it up all in one day. So it just, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. So far this year, we've responded to 1,537 calls. To have two positions. One is employee is up on FMLA, the other one is vacant medic position. We did receive our $17,000 check from the insurance claim on the cot that was damaged. So it went back into the equipment fund. I have not got all the fuel bills for last month, so that's why I don't have any fuel totals. They switched over some stuff within the fuel program, and it's kind of been a little bit bumpy, so we're getting stuff at different times, so where some departments are getting it and some aren't for another week or so, so I don't know why exactly all that's working out that way. But if you look on the very last page of your packet, we finally did get our DEA license after 9 months. I just copped through that in there in case you've never seen a DEA license before, because I'd never seen one. So I've been in EMS 26 years and been around doctors and everything, never actually seen one. So I did have to redact one number on there, just because that is kind of that number can do some damage. So I did have to redact that. But we did get that. That's the result of a federal law that was passed in 2017. Is the reason we're having to do this, and it's just now coming out to where you're having to do it. So the wheels are turning slowly, but we've got it. We're good for 2 years before we have to re-up our license. So that's pretty much it. I do have one truck down that's been down for about a month. It's a Chevy truck, so it's at a Chevy dealer. They had a pretty major repair that needed to be done. So after consulting with the city garage and Ford, they're both like, you really need to send that to a Chevy dealer. So it's a Chevy dealer getting repaired. So I did have one little, just, I don't know, interesting fact, I guess. So in June, we had aircraft that made an emergency landing at our airport. I think it was June 13th, I want to say. Everything was fine. They declared an emergency. They'd lost an engine. They came down. They landed. They were taxiing up. As we pulled up, we had about 3 minutes notice from the time that they declared an emergency until, so it went back through Indianapolis Air Traffic Control, then came to our dispatch center. Just a really neat experience. I know they did get to do an open house. It is a flying museum for the Berlin Airlift, and they had an open house Saturday. I guess they had a very good turnout of people came and went through the museum and the plane. So that was really neat getting to meet those guys. The other fact that I think is just really mind-blowing is that whether you love social media or you hate it, the power that it has. So I made a post about it. I took some pictures, I made a post. That post has been seen 138,000 times. Wow. Which is, what, 6 times more people than live in Fayette County? So just the power of social media, you know, when used right, when used appropriately, can just reach so many people. And that just kind of boggles my mind that it can reach 138,000 people like that, but it did. So I
Great
just
positive, great positive.
Yeah, it was. So it was very neat, and that, you know, whether you like social media or you don't, it does have a place in our world.
Used right, it's used right. It's a
And
valuable tool.
we have to. We're going to have to. It's not going away, so we're going to have to use it and use it to our advantage. So, does anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you, Glenn. Superintendent Good.
Hello?
I gave you guys my goals for the last meeting, and I'm happy to take any questions about those that may have come up. I just wanted to give you a few, mostly facility updates. The first one is the pool. It is open, the liner's in. Just to make you all aware, when the lane lines were put in, they were put in incorrectly, which has not affected any of our swimmers, but just so you know, there will be more construction on the pool at no cost to us. But after we close following Labor Day, the company will be back to correct those lines, which will mean taking the liner out of the deep end and then replacing it. So It's no big emergency, but just want to let you know that was going to be happening. I thank you for your approval for the shed that has been ordered, and I hope that gets built by fall, the one that will be next to the Miller Building. The next projects that we're working on in Roberts Park are, we are starting the vehicle barricade with the posts and the wire that I had told you about around Longwood Bridge. So that is a big area, but there will be access in and out for the fair. I know that will be a big question. But as far as people who may mention to you they're no longer able to park on the grass, you might kindly remind them that it is actually against our ordinances for them to park on the grass. So it's hopefully going to cut down on some of the vandalism in the park, as well as to keep our facilities nicer.
You're saying no more parking in the grass at Roberts Park?
Well, this is the first area that we're going to barricade, and a lot of your questions when we started the bridge project was how are we going to prevent vandalism at the bridge, and this is one of those ways, which is actually helping to enforce one of our ordinances, which is people aren't supposed to be parking in the grass. So, but for events such as the fair, and then of course for our mowers to get in, we will be able to open up certain areas for people to get in and out. So we are getting ready for the fair. The dates are July 31st to August 6th. Would like to remind everyone that we do not run the fair. We just provide the facilities. So if you want to be in the parade, if you want to have a booth, if you are angry about the Queen contest, please don't call the parks office. Please contact the fair board. They will be more than happy to help you. You may have noticed that Cleo Fountain has turned from purple to blue. We did get all the purple cleaned up, at which time I think our algicide meter got turned up way too high, and that has caused the blue color that you see on the fountain. We will be shutting the fountain off this week. It's just a matter of scrubbing that off, recoating it with sealer and turning it back on. So it was not vandalized again. I've been asked that a lot of times. It was our own fault for turning that chemical up to the wrong level. I'm very excited to let you know that we officially called for utility locates on Friday at 2nd Street Park, which means we are ready to start moving equipment at the park. So I'm hoping today or tomorrow all that stuff gets marked, so Hudson Construction can get out there and start moving. He's going to be starting to work on the drain lines and all of those things that go under the ground. So we did go ahead and schedule our groundbreaking ceremony for July the 29th at 10 a.m. You should have all gotten an invitation on your email for that, so I hope to see you there. It is not open to the public. We are just inviting our major donors, so they have all been contacted, as well as city officials. We will have a ribbon cutting when the park is complete in the fall, and at that time we'll invite everybody to come. But this event is special just to those who helped us the most financially to get the park going. And the last thing I wanted to two more things. The first is sports. We do have soccer and machine pitch registrations open now. They will close on a Thursday, which is a change for us. Thursday, August 11th. Those registrations will close, and that just prevents us from having people say they left something in our Dropbox Friday night and so on and so forth. So we will be changing those deadlines to Thursdays moving forward. And then the last thing is we are also hiring. We are hiring a part-time, mostly person to run trash and clean restrooms. We have gotten not so many applications, so I thought I would mention it today. If you all know anyone, if anybody watching knows someone, it does pay $10.50 an hour. It is Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that's That's all I have, unless you guys have any questions for me.
For the fair, does the fair board lease that area for the fair, or is it free
They sign
gratis,
a
or-
contract every year, so it's basically just a facility usage, it's not really a lease.
There's no money that changes hands? or
Well,
anything?
yes, they do pay us, mostly that helps us absorb the uptick in our electric bill for that week. So I guess maybe you do call that a lease, but yes, we do sign a contract every year with the fair board for, what is their responsibilities, what is ours, and that kind of thing. The buildings that they want, sometimes it changes. So, we just get lots and lots of calls about the fair, and we don't know the answers.
Right.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Chief Jones.
Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
All right, everyone should have a copy of my monthly report for June. We'll start off with our overtime. Overtime's up. Obviously, I've got a few guys injured. That combination with peak vacation season just is a bad combination. Over almost $13,000 in overtime. 1,100 of it's FLSA, and the remainder is manpower shortage. Any questions on the overtime? We'll move on down to fuel usage. Our gallons is up a little bit. We did have some out-of-town schooling that my assistant chief went to obtain a certification that we get points for when our ISO comes and does a study. So that's why we've got a little bit more gallons. Obviously, the cost, I think everybody understands, why the cost, unfortunately, is so high. But any questions on that first page? All right, we'll move on to the incident report for June. Had a total of 195 incidents. 66% of those are EMS, 34% fire. You'll see a summary after that of the incidents for that month. And then following, you'll see the total number through June 30th. We have 958 total incidents with about the same percentage EMS and fire. After that, we'll move on to our training report for June. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of training done for the month of June also, with a pretty good summary list of hours. We believe we had a total of 94.5 hours, instructed hours total for the whole department. Just out of curiosity, I did have my assistant chief pull up the numbers that we have for one of our new hires. He's been on a couple months, and he himself has almost 83.5 hours of training just for himself. So if there's any questions on how we train our new hires, we can toss that. So we are pretty big on our training, obviously. Obviously I wouldn't be applying for grants for other equipment, but so we had 94.5 hours total of instructed training hours. Then finally, on the last page, you'll see a list of inspections. We had 12 inspections for the month. And you can see a list of, actually I have the business names listed now, like I said, so it's easier to see where we're going. Nobody has to look up addresses, so. But yeah, we're making our way around. The guys are getting better, getting more familiar with it. But one other thing I would like to add, I know a lot of you are probably seeing the posts that we're posting about our training that we're offering that I was talking about earlier. We've been working with Ivy Tech for a while now, trying to just bring more training to town. I do have Dave Chrysler's coming tonight to the council meeting just to give kind of a little presentation. He couldn't come to both meetings. He lives up towards Indy, but he is the chair of the public safety over Ivy Tech in the Indianapolis region. And I've known Dave probably for about 2 years now. I met him when I went to take my inspector class, and they have a fire station up there in Lawrence that half of it's a firehouse, the other half is an Ivy Tech training facility. And it's really neat. I took a rope rescue course up there probably 20 years ago. And then I went up there and took my inspector course and passed that, and I got to know Dave. And this all started basically with a one-sentence email. I sent him an email. I said, I would love to replicate what you guys have. I said, we're lacking training in this side of the state. And, from there on out, we've been good friends, and he thinks it's a great idea. We're trying to bring more training. Obviously, better applicants, training ahead of time. And, the goal was just to get maybe people trained out of high school, maybe EMT classes offered maybe at the vocational school or something like that. But we've got a lot of good ideas, but he will be here tonight if anybody's interested in, seeing what he has to say, either, watch it on TV or you could come see, what he has to say. But we're trying to do a lot of good things and just trying to offer more, in the area. So that's all I have.
Good job.
Thank you.
Director Coulter. I get it wrong every time, Bob. He's always up first.
Hello.
Hello.
Not much happened in June, but our revenue stream was actually pretty good. Like I said, disbursement's going to be up and down due to the projects, especially at the wastewater plant. Overtime, total $6,808. $1,000 that was scheduled. A lot of that is still the water treatment plant. We talked about the last time, but remember this runs from, our payroll runs from 5/20 to 6/14, so we were still checking that Woodside at that time. So next month we should see hopefully a big drop. And also Memorial Day holidays is included in that too. We have people working at the water plant and sewer plant on those holidays. Attaches the service worker reports and the water plant, sewer plant reports. Today, they started hauling in equipment for the Headwork project. The access roads is pretty much done, and that project should be getting started pretty hard here in the next 30 days. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mike.
Thank you.
Some of the things I've been working on this last month is we've spent quite a bit of time, the mayor and I, working on the permitting for the Frontier project that's going to move through town and dig holes everywhere and shoot holes everywhere. So the city hasn't really had a policy for that, so we're trying to put one in place so that we can have recourse in the event that something were to happen. We're getting ready to go into union negotiations on the utility side. Diana's going to help us with that.
And Councilman Rob. Councilman Rob.
And Councilman Rob, yep. We've been meeting with the trash committee quite a bit. Brian serves on there. The mayor and I trying to talk about recycling and what our policy is going to be. Recycling in this. Been getting a lot of questions about recycling lately, and I don't know how to answer a lot of them because it's sort of in flux how recycling has to be handled.
The environment of recycling is changing rapidly, not even from our side, but from how they handle the side. So that's, I know it seems like we're not giving a lot of answers, but it's because it's a wheel that keeps changing, and we're trying to make sure that the changes we make fits. So
we've got several meetings trying to get our minds wrapped around it. We had an employee from Waste Management here, so we could ask him questions. I thought that went pretty well. Learned a lot, learned some. So that's something else we've been working on. Also, I'm going to visit with the commissioners at the meeting tomorrow. We have a culvert at just a little north of the intersection of Gray Road and Country Club Road that needs to be replaced. And Jay Havlin, the highway director, had offered to give us a piece of pipe. It's actually part of an old tanker car, but we're going to try to use that. So I'm going to go ask permission, and I need to speak with them about them helping us pay for the construction standards. So the city's paving has begun. You've probably seen over on West Western, they're starting to work on ramps over there. Of course, we had a water leak already pop up right in the middle of the street, right where they're starting to work. So those areas of town are pretty old. So I'm afraid once we go to paving that, we might have more than one water leak. So be watching out for those guys. They don't have any ramps to replace downtown, but we have some patching and things to do. So you're going to start to see the people from Rowe out working around town all over the place. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the water project that I've been mentioning to you. We got the list of people that are in front running for grants and funding for the project, and we were number 38, which was about 30 below where I would have liked to have seen us. We're not even in the fundable range right now, so which means that we might not be eligible for subsidized financing, which will make the project somewhat more expensive. It's still a pretty good rate, but we'll be eligible for pool financing, and I just kind of wanted to keep you informed. We could move up. There's like the number 3 project's a $100 million project in Evansville or somewhere, so if that goes away, then we could move up dozens of spots pretty quick. So keeping our eye on that to see, make sure that we manage this project as cheap as we can. And the last thing I wanted to tell you about, you saw in the street department report, been working quite a bit at the compost site where we had a lot of limbs this year, and it's been we may, bad as I hate to say it, we may have to bring somebody in to help us grind because we have had just so many limbs from all these storms that it's got away from us. We try, it's more cheap, it's a lot cheaper when we can do it ourselves, and last year we got away with it, but this year we may not. It's yet to be seen. But I wanted to show you, I'd asked Justin and John to put up a picture of the compost site. David's been handling for us our renewals of the permits for both of those. The transfer and the compost site were both renewing at the same time this year. You can walk over to the point, might make it a little bit easier, but we have you can see this whole area here is what was the compost site. Well, we're building this new project right here, so we had to take this part. So now transfer will basically stay where they've been, but the compost site will compact a little bit. Well, you can see this big hole in the ground, not as well in this picture as I'd like for you to, but there's going to be 2,000 yards of extra dirt come out of this area we're going to put in over here, and hopefully it'll fill up most of that hole. And then, so in the end, the compost site will probably have a bigger operating area than what they have been once that hole's mostly filled in. I don't know if it'll fill it all in, but mostly. Right now that site's a little tight because this area here, we had a lot of, that's Tony's best black gold compost that he stores back there. He keeps a close eye on it. Well, that, we had to move it over here. So we've kind of squeezed him a little bit. But once we get this filled in, we'll have a lot more area. So everybody that goes down there, just wanted to say, be a little careful, and hopefully in the next month or two, when they start moving dirt, we'll have this side a lot more open, more room. I wanted to mention again while I was talking about that, I've had some complaints lately about the hours down at the compost site, and I probably told you before, but I just wanted to say again why we have limited the hours down there some. In the past, they would just open the gates and it was free for all to come in and dump whatever. You end up getting couches and trash and big old trees that we couldn't grind up. And so we decided that we would limit the hours and we would keep a person there to keep an eye on the place while people were dumping. And that also limits the amount of limbs that we take. We're trying to take a manageable amount that we can most years be able to grind ourselves and not have to pay $30,000 to $50,000 to have somebody come do it. So just kind of trying to hit the sweet spot. You know, in government we have a lot of things that we want to do, and you have limited money and limited staff, and you just try to hit the sweet spot and serve the people as best you can without it being more expensive. You know, we could start charging down there when people bring limbs, and maybe we could afford to have somebody there and have it open all the time, but to do it for free, I think we're in the sweet spot. So if you get any complaints about it, I'm always willing to try to explain it. Really the main complaints I get, every great once in a while somebody loads a load up from their yard and drives down there and it's not open and they're not real happy. But most of the complaints come from the commercial guys. They want, you know, it's a great benefit to them to go be able to dump for free. And when we can help them, we want to, but I think we're doing it the right way now, and always willing to discuss it with somebody if they want to ask questions. But I want to explain it again. It popped up a couple times here lately.
And during storms events, when we have a storm, we open it up extra for that.
Yeah.
Staff it, we just can't staff it all the time like that.
Yeah.
And the problem is they were dumping stuff like, they dumped concrete, and you couldn't see it. They pick it up, put it in the grinder, and the concrete tears the grinder up. So
Yeah.
now our grinder's down, it's expensive to fix, and you get farther behind on your grinding, so.
It makes it nice when we can have somebody there. That way he can load people up with compost. They don't have to shovel it themselves. And I think we're doing pretty good. Tony manages that pretty well down there, so I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. Any questions for any of that? Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Adam out there, I don't think he's here today. He's got an update on everything he's been working on. We've been working on, he's still working on a project for utilities, and then we've been doing the budget for several months now, so that everyone has the outline of what he's working on with the budget, so that's be a great tool to have him in place as we're going through that. Okay, any old business? Any miscellaneous business? Claims.
Okay, city payroll, $473,919.98. City claims, $150,586.08. Utility claims, $172,791 even.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Yeah, motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Clint, everybody out there? No one from the public? No, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Have a good day.